Good evening and welcome to Business Building Business, brought to you live each week by the Cosmopolitan Chamber of Commerce. Over the past few weeks, you've had me. I've been here and talked to you about the chamber and our exciting guest. And if you can recall, we have talked about an exciting program that is sponsored by the Illinois Tollway. It's called the Illinois Tollway Technical Assistance Program, and we've had partners with legal partners. We have an accountant coming on next week. We had a participant in the program one week. We had someone talk about surety bonding. We covered the gamut. And tonight we have a very special guest that is going to continue talking about the Illinois Tollways program, and we'll talk about how Laverne, how she participates in it and what she contributes in helping small businesses, emerging businesses, and contractors in the city of Chicago. Again, welcome to Business Building Business, brought to you by the Cosmopolitan Chamber of Commerce. Welcome, Laverne.
Well, thank you.
Well, Laverne has a very impressive past and resume, and just so that we can put it all in context, I'd like to share with you a brief, bio about her. She is a Chicago native and graduated from Southern Illinois University. Go Salukis! And her initial career path was in human resources, which led her to work for Soft Sheen Products, another Chicago company, with Mr. Ed Gardner. And there she saw a Black-owned company create thousands of jobs for the community and the residents of the south side of our city. During its heyday, Soft Sheen Products transformed an entire zip code, as you all know, and payroll was drawn on a black bank, and all of the retail stores on 87th Street, where Soft Sheen manufacturing plant and headquarters were located, thrived. And many of them are still thriving today, just from, the seeds that the gardeners planted. So this experience not only inspired Laverne to become an entrepreneur, but to also get involved in economic development. Yes. Laverne has worked with the Women's Business Development Center, assisting women with procuring government contracts. She has worked with the Women's Self-Employment Project, where she managed a loan pool for women starting a business. Ms. Hall has been the Business Diversity Director for the Chicago Public Schools, where she assisted Arnie Duncan with establishing MWBE diversity goals for the school district. She also monitored the levels of participation for the Board of Education and assisted local MBE, WBE firms with doing business with CPS. Laverne later became the Director of Contract Compliance for Cook County, where she also approved MWBE certification applications, monitored the level of the MWBE participation and compliance on all county contracts. That's a pretty big job. That includes Cook County Hospital, Cook County Jail, the Juvenile Detention Center, and the county court systems. She also was responsible for reporting the levels of diversity to the Cook County Board of Commissioners. So she had some bosses that were really on top of her. Yeah. And with all of that, in 2013, Ms. Hall decided to branch out on her own and started her own consulting firm, Can Do, which stands for Consulting Associates Negotiating Diversity Opportunities. I never knew that.
See there?
Yeah. Where she provides assistance to corporations on how to achieve inclusion of MWBE firms in their vendor supply chains, and she also works with minority and women-owned firms and assists them with how to obtain government contracts. So that's what she's going to share with you tonight. Laverne is currently working with the Illinois Tollway's Technical Assistance Program to do just that. She is helping local small construction firms get bid ready for tollway opportunities. So I've said a lot, and now I'm going to let Laverne explain what all of that means. Again, welcome.
Thanks, Rhonda.
So she's got a lot of experience, and callers, keep in mind, this is a interactive show. It's a call-in show. You want to pick Laverne's brain because she's full of information and knowledge. Believe me, if there's one person in Chicago you want to get to know if you are a small business, it's Laverne Hall. Right. So call us, join in on the conversation. The number is at the bottom of your screen, 312-738-1060. So Laverne, tell us about the Illinois Tollway's Technical Assistance Program, and what do you do?
Well, before we get started, let me just tell you how it came to be known as Can Do.
Oh, okay. Yes, all right. Yeah, this is new for me. I've known Laverne and her company, but didn't know that.
Right. So, like you were saying, I had been at Cook County for a while as the contract compliance director. And when I left there, I was really trying to decide what it was I wanted to do. I recently lost my mom. I kind of felt like I was on the back nine, as they say, of my life. And I was like, well, I knew whatever I wanted to do, I wanted it to be meaningful. So I was literally sitting on my sofa one day, and I was getting phone calls, and a lot of people were just checking in on me, especially with the death of my mom, just seeing how I was doing. And everybody was asking me, well, how you doing? What you doing? That kind of thing. And I was like, well, I'm really trying to decide. And it was like, well, Laverne, can you help me respond to this RFP? I just saw this RFP, and I really need some help. Just respond. I'm like, well, I can do that. And then I got another call, and it was another person just checking in. It was like, girl, I got, these questions coming back from the city, wanting to know my certification. How do I get that stuff? Can you help me get my certification? I was like, yeah, I can do that. And literally, I had about 5 phone calls similar to that in a row. And a friend of mine that was sitting there was like, girl, you should just call yourself Can Do.
Right.
Okay.
Wow.
Everybody, that's right, who's calling you, asking you to help them. Just tell them, yeah, I can do that. So just call yourself Can Do. So I thought that was kind of catchy.
Yeah, and that's what I thought of. I thought you were saying, I can do it.
And I
can do it for you.
Right. But it has a meaning.
Exactly.
Okay, so
and what's that meaning again?
It's basically consulting associates negotiating diversity opportunities. Because I do work with a group of other consultants, and we kind of come together and work as a team to really solve whatever diversity issues we're trying to address. So that's how I got to be Can Do.
Okay.
All right, now.
And so next, then we're going to circle back to the Illinois Tollway Technical Assistance Program, and tell us about that. And I mentioned in your bio, you said that you are helping businesses get bid ready. So we need her to tell us exactly what that means. Right?
Okay, so bid ready is basically a term that I use in describing the kind of services that I provide for the Tollway Technical Assistance Program. And it's really a way of saying that I help firms fulfill all of the requirements that they need to bid on a government contract. So you usually need to be certified as a minority or DBE-owned firm. You usually have to register with the state or the county or someone as your vendor registration, pre-qualified with some of the general contractors as a subcontractor. So there's just a lot of paperwork, a lot of procedures that you have to go through in order to be bid ready. One of those procedures is applying for bonding and getting bonding. So this team that I'm working with, which is the Tollway Inner City team that I'm working with, has put together a group of consultants that can provide all of the assistance that you need to become bid ready. So I work on the front end, which is pretty much the certification, and then helping them identify what their, we call technical assistance plan should be. Then that's part of what I do is just kind of assess where the business is, what type of assistance would best serve them when trying to grow the business. Then, like I said, I register them in, and then I just kind of help them through all of those steps that they need to take to be bid ready for the tollway or any other government project that they're interested in.
Okay. Well, we get calls periodically at the chamber, that with small businesses reaching out, needing help, needing assistance. And the first thing I always ask is, are you certified? And everybody says yes. But then when I drill down and, I talk about, are you going on the city's website for the bids? Anyway, they're not certified. usually when they have their license, they think, well, I'm already certified. So exactly what does being certified mean, and what are some of the obstacles to
Well,
getting a certification?
That's a twofold question. I'll start with what it means. Okay, and basically it means that your business will start showing up on the radar screen. It's a way for other contractors that are looking for minority and women-owned firms to partner with or to subcontract with. That's the first resource that they go to. They'll go to either the city or the county's list of certified firms. So now, if you're certified, you start popping up. All of a sudden, you're an electrical contractor. They need an electrical contractor to work at one of these schools, and they need a minority or they need a woman-owned firm. They're not quite sure who's out there or who's certified. So they're going to go to one of those databases, and you want your firm showing up when they start looking.
So is that
that's
all you
one
have
of the
to do?
benefits. Now,
Is that all you have to do?
the obstacles are usually, keep in mind that what they're looking for when they're certifying you is they're looking what I call the 3 E's. They're looking to see if you have equipment, they're looking to see if you have experience, and they're looking to see if you have equity in the firm. So that's their way of making sure that you, in fact, own this firm. All right. I have so many companies that will come to me and tell me that they're a general contractor. And I'll say, okay, well, tell me what your equipment. And they literally have no equipment. Okay, so that's problematic.
Exactly.
Okay, and I realize you can lease the equipment or whatever, but needs to be shown that you've made some investment into your company, and that would usually be in the form of equipment. Okay.
And so can you explain the certification process? What do you need to do? Is just fill out a form and then you're certified?
No.
Okay.
There's basically a application that you need to complete that asks basic information, the structure of your company, how long you've been in business, what it is you do, the basic information. But then you have to provide supporting documents. So if you're saying that you've been in business for 5 years, they want to see tax returns for the last 5 years. Okay. If you said you've been doing business with the county or CHA or whomever, just whatever, they want to see invoices, contracts, all of the supporting documents that you need to show that you are in fact the owner of this business.
Okay.
You might also, they'll ask you to demonstrate your equity, which is to demonstrate that you in fact invested the money that got the business started. All right. So, they're just different documents that they're going to require to ascertain if you in fact own this business and are the one that's operating and managing the business.
Okay.
Because it's more to it than just owning the business. You have to
Right.
also operate, manage,
Sure.
and run the business. Yes.
Now, okay, I'm certified, I've gone through all of this, the paperwork and everything. So is that all I need? Are they going to automatically start calling my company?
Well, you will start showing up on the radar screen. Okay. And you might get a few phone calls just from showing up on the radar screen. But you really have to then do the work and market yourself as a certified firm to really get to that level of growth that you can get to from benefiting from the certification. So once you become certified, and you're in the construction industry, then I would recommend that you go to outreach events that a lot of the agencies have. So, for instance, the CTA monthly do
Right.
outreach events for their certified minority, or they do DBE firms, right? And we can kind of talk about the difference
Sure.
between the types of certifications. But they basically are looking for their certified firms to kind of come and hear about the opportunities that they have for these firms. They also invite the prime contractors that are doing the work already for CTA to these events. And that's the time to network with them, market your company to them, and let them know that I'm certified, this is what I do, I can help you achieve the goal, I'm really looking to do some subcontracting work. And you'd be surprised at how often firms are looking for companies to add to their pool of vendors that they work with to achieve those goals. Because really, the goals are pretty mandatory. I
Right.
mean, it's
Sure.
like whatever. A lot of these contracts are large. So when you're talking 35% of a contract, and it's multi-million-dollar contract, very often they need quite a few subcontractors to help them achieve the goal. So you have to, once you get the certification, you have to market it in a way that really benefits you.
So is it worth the trouble? All that information you have to provide?
It depends on your marketing plan for your company. It's definitely worth the trouble if you want to do work in the government sector.
Okay.
So if you want to do work at Chicago Public Schools, if you want to do work for IDOT, if you want to do work for the county, the city, and these are big government contracts.
Right.
If that's your path for your firm, then it's definitely worth the time and effort. Now, if you are only going to be doing residential
Right,
jobs,
that was my next question. How do you transition?
If you are clear with just doing whatever, then you don't need to go through the process of getting
Okay.
certified. It's just not, no one's going to, I won't say that no one's going to benefit, because I do know a lot of just homeowners that are looking for minority firms to do the plumbing or whatever.
Really?
So they
Okay.
too will use the site. But it's not going to bring you that much business to go through the trouble.
Right. Well, we have contractors. I could think of one in particular who is in a family-owned business, and he's working with his dad side by side, but they do residential.
Okay.
So, but he's looking, ahead. He's a millennial. He wants to do other things, and he wants to go after some of that government work. How does a business that's only been doing residential transition, to the
And
large government project?
Well, that's why I said you would get the certification and then you start networking.
Okay.
And then really going to the events where those government agencies are hosting outreach events. And, I would identify a couple of the contractors that are doing the work and then pre-qualify with them.
Oh,
So,
okay. And what does that mean? What do you mean?
So there's, I call them mid-sized contractors that will basically have the overall contract
I see.
to do work on with certain agencies. So they have goals that are on their contracts. And when they get ready, when I say get pre-qualified, they don't necessarily want to reach out to everybody out there when they need a contractor. So what they'll do is they'll pre-qualify your firm before they even need you for work.
Oh, okay.
They will take a look and see what your capacity is, what your skill levels are, that type of thing. And then whenever they start bidding on work,
Right.
you are now on what's called a bidders list. And they will let you know, we're bidding on this job. Come and take a look at the plans and specs, see if there's something on this job that you can do,
Right.
and then you can shoot us a number that we can include in our number when we
Okay.
place the bid. So you then forge a relationship with that firm. And some of those firms are going, like I said, get the business. They've got the business anyway. So you're basically marketing yourself to them as a way to help them meet their goals, but also as a way to start getting work at those government type of projects.
Okay. Well, let's circle back to Can Do, your company. Do you only work with construction companies? Because we have a lot of viewers who are thinking about starting a small business, or they're established, but they may not be in construction.
Well, okay, so here's the deal. Right now, I am working primarily with helping construction companies get certified through the Tollway. So with this program, it's either construction or construction related,
I see.
because that's the industry that we're focused on. Now we can, when I say construction related, we're talking companies like signage, that type of thing.
Yeah, because the Tollway,
Exactly.
they provide signage.
There might be some professional type services that might be needed. But for the most part, for this program, it really needs to be a construction company. Like I couldn't really help a printing company,
Exactly.
get certified. Yeah.
Well, how long should a company have been in business in order to be a part of the Illinois Tollway program? And how big, can small companies be a part of the Tollway program?
We've got two levels of companies. We've got one that is, and I can't remember what the cutoff is, but what we consider a smaller construction firm, and it's been in business for at least a year. And unless you can demonstrate that you've paid your taxes for at least as a company for at least 1 year, you're considered a startup,
Okay.
and we can't really. You don't have the documentation needed to really start the process and to supply the supporting documents that they're going to ask you for. But after you've been in business for a year, 2 years, then you can pretty much start down that process, and that's considered like a level one. Okay. Firms that have been primarily in business for a while, have gotten a few smaller contracts, but now they're looking to really grow and get some of the bigger contracts, are looking to go from subcontracting to prime contracting. Those are level two, and we have a different set of services for them, because usually they're already certified and that type of thing.
Well, it sounds like you're giving them a lot. What does the small business person have to pay to get these services that you offer?
Believe it or not, this is free.
Did you hear that?
The Illinois
Free
Tollway.
services?
Yes, this is free. We do ask that you commit to being engaged. So once we go through the process of getting you certified, we really need to know if you're bidding on work, if we're sending you information about bid opportunities, that you're actually, bidding on the work, and that you're engaged with us for at least 2 years so we can track and monitor the growth of your firm, having laid out the technical assistance plan to ensure that the plan is actually, we're meeting the plan, and if not, why not?
Well, if I'm a part of your technical assistance program, can I bid on contracts outside of the tollway?
Yes,
or
yes.
am
And
I
we're really
limited
looking
because
for-
of the program?
Right, no, it's government focused, government related focus. So, tollway is our primary contracts that we're really trying to get people bid ready for, okay? But we recognize that, in the process, you might really need to cut your teeth on some CHA projects. You might really need to do some IDOT projects, some city projects, and there's so many transportation type projects, CTA, the airport's got a lot of projects coming up. So we're really just trying to get a lot of our firms ready for those big type of government projects that are coming up in the construction industry, and the tollway is just trying to sponsor it to help increase their pool of MW.
Now,
vendors.
for all of these government agencies, are there different certifications? Because you said DBE, there's MBE, WBE.
Right, and there's just real quickly, the MBE is minority business enterprise. WBE is women business enterprise, and those are pretty much recognized by the state, the city, and the county. Then you have your transportation ones and your federal government contracts, which are DBE, and that's disadvantaged business enterprise. So that's basically based on your size. It's not so much based on your ethnicity or gender, but just the size of your business puts you at a disadvantage. So the federal government recognizes that one because they're race and gender neutral.
Sure.
And so they have their own program. And most of the transportation companies look at that. So that would be Tollway, IDOT, CTA, any federal
Metro,
Metro,
that.
Metro. Anyone that gets federal dollars are looking to meet DBE goals.
And so how can a company apply to become a part of the technical assistance program?
Well, if you fit into our criteria, construction company needing some assistance with, like I said, bonding, certification, just understanding how to respond to the RFP, give us a call. We'll do the assessment. The first step is getting assessed, and we determine if you're level 1 or level 2. Then step 2 is basically you sitting down with us and developing what we call a technical assistance plan. And that technical assistance plan, in fact, puts you into the program, because now we've got a plan on how we're going to work together and what we're going to try to achieve within, our 2 year is our time frame in which we're looking at companies to see.
Okay.
If
Now,
they're grown.
are there any special considerations for people, contractors that have gone through the technical assistance program when they bid for, it's like a set aside just for the TA people?
Well, I mean, there are mentor protege programs that are just for the technical assistance firms.
Okay.
And that's a really benefit. I don't have time to kind of get into it, but yeah, there are some special benefits for members, and then
Right.
mentor protege would be one.
Laverne, how would a business get in touch with you? How would they continue
Well,
this conversation?
Why don't you give them Inner City's number?
Okay.
And they can call Inner City, and we can basically set up some time to come in and really do an assessment and see if if you can utilize some of our assistance in the program.
Right. And Inner City, you can contact them at 312-341-9080. So Laverne, that was a wealth of information, and time has flown by. I can't believe I never even talked about the chamber. But before we close out, I'd like to share some information about the Cosmopolitan Chamber of Commerce. Our mission is to promote the development and growth of minority business and to assist in minority businesses and entrepreneurs within the state of Illinois by providing technical assistance, business educational programs, certification and procurement guidance, technology support, and access to capital. So now you have it, viewers, and thank you for tuning in. We will see you next week when you join us again at Business Building Business, brought to you by the Cosmopolitan Chamber of Commerce. Have a great night. Thank you.
Thanks.